Hello everyone, it's Andrea and welcome to this edition of Talks in the Car. Today I want to send out a word of encouragement to the singles. Whether or not you're single and desire to be in a relationship, perhaps you are a product of divorce, maybe you're a widow, perhaps you were in a long-term relationship that ended. I want to encourage you today as we are getting closer to the holidays. You know, sometimes as being single, you kind of feel that a little bit more than maybe you would at different times of the year. And so I want to really encourage you because sometimes it will seem as if we are living in a world that is designed specifically for couples, specifically for marriages, specifically for relationships. And sometimes that can allow you to feel a little left out. That can question your worth. It can make you question, why can't I find somebody, especially if you desire to be married, you desire to be in a relationship. And sometimes those feelings can lead to depression. They can lead you to be walking into situations that you shouldn't be in. So I want to encourage you today and just to remind you that you are precious to God, that God has something special for you. If you desire to be in a relationship, I encourage you to commit that to God. And as you are committing that to God, look at yourself, look at the things that you may need to be doing in order to prepare for that person to come into your life. Look at your attitude. Look if you have some things that you need to get rid of. Perhaps there are some things that you need to take on. But I encourage you to stay focused. Keep your mind on God. God has someone special that He has for you, someone that will honor you, someone that will be a blessing to you. And then on the flip side of that, God wants you to be someone who will bless somebody else. God wants you to be the person that they have prayed for. And so let's not rush into situations that will find us in places where we don't want to be, that will find us in places that could potentially cause us to compromise what we stand for. Sometimes when we're at a place where we want something and we want something soon, that may cause us to make poor choices, poor decisions, and we find ourselves in places that it might have been easy to walk into, but not as easy to get out of. And so again, I encourage you, if you are single, you desire to be married, you desire to be in relationship, commit your desire before God. God tells us that we can ask, and if it's in His will, He will bless us with that. But in saying that, let's make sure that we are in the place that we want to be. Let's not settle for just anything, anybody. Let's not do that. Let's commit ourselves to God and ask God, who do you want in my life? Let's make sure that we are not finding ourselves with counterfeit individuals. Let's make sure that we are finding ourselves in a place where the person that comes into our lives is the person that God desires us to be with. Like I said, let's not compromise. Let's not find ourselves in places and in situations that doesn't honor God. Because while we want to be in relationship, while we want to be in union with other people, we also need to be in a place where those relationships that we walk into also honor God and also serve as an example to others. So again, if you're single, desire to be married, desire to be in a relationship, I encourage you today and I remind you that you are precious to God. You are the apple of God's eye. God desires to bless you with a special relationship. But in saying that, let's exercise patience. Let's exercise making sure that we are doing all that we need to do in God, that we are still worshiping, that we are still making sure that we are walking in the purpose of God, making sure that the things that God has called us to do, that we are doing, so that when that person comes into our lives, we will be ready, first of all, and then we'll be able to recognize who that person is, that we'll be able to discern the real from the counterfeit, the gold from the fool's gold. Let's be ready and let us just be in a place of expectation, knowing that God wants the best for us. And God looks at us in total. He looks at us mind, body, and spirit. God wants to see us in places that he can smile, because he knows that he blessed us with something, and he knows that we are grateful and that we are appreciative of the things that he has blessed us with. And so don't find yourself in a place of depression. Don't down yourself. Don't look at what others are doing and what others have, because you know what? We don't always know what's going on behind the scenes in other people's relationships. So all we need to be concerned about is making sure that we are in the place where we need to be, mind, body, and spirit, so that when God brings that person into our atmosphere, when God ushers us into the atmosphere of others, we are ready to receive the blessing that he has for us. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I will see you next time on Talks in the Car.